It was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be like a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
Good day all, my name is Atul Singh and I've been living in CBD for 17 years.
Hi, I'm Havana and I'm a student at Summit House and I live around Cape Town.
My name is Keenan. I'm a student at Summit House and I'm 17 years old. And I stay in the Musenberg side.
I'm Ross, I'm 18 and I go to school at Summit House.
Well, it starts with the corruption in government and the way things have been going in the country. I feel like it's almost like we're on a playground just playing. I mean, like, you're getting, what's his name again? Private Gordon was suspended or fired. Zuma's just like employing people and firing people without thinking about the next move. And everyone in South Africa is people, we're all shocked and like, what's happening? The rand is going low. So I just feel like everything is just being done without thinking about what situation is putting people in. I mean, it's making life hard as South Africans and as us for youth. We really don't know how our future is standing.
The truth is, it's basically living in apartheid in reverse.
Yeah.
The truth is, that's all it is. That's all it is. It's just now the black people are being, in the sense of not the black people, the president. He is black, obviously, and so he is now being unfair and he's being unequal toward the rest of the people. And he says that he stands for the black people. He says he stands for the black youth, but last week, his own people were protesting against him for him to step down, and he just blatantly disregarded that, and he's going to continue to do it until he probably dies, because with the rate of corruption in South Africa, there's no way to stop it.
So about the protest that happened a few weeks ago against Zuma, it felt amazing. It was so empowering to stand in a crowd of so many people. The roads, it's like a double lane, and it was reduced to a single lane because there were so many people, and they were all over the roads, and everyone was singing, and everyone was, waving their flags, and everyone was wearing black like they were supposed to. And this woman drove past, and she was like, "There's a line all the way from Lakeside. I just drove from Lakeside, and it's all the way from there to here, this big." So it was like a line as thick as 5 people. All the way from Lakeside. That's pretty incredible to know that our country can stand together like that. Like, to know that if we needed it, they'll do it.
There was a march, a weed march, which actually made them legalize it, and now, which is a benefit because it actually helps out when you get legalized.
Yeah, there was one on Saturday which I attended, and I mean, they're in the streets here, they're marching, and they're all smoking weed. The police are they're not hassle-bite anymore. They see it's peaceful. They don't get all angry about it. But I mean, it depends what kind of protesting he's speaking about, because you get the violent type where riots go out. Watch those things, but there has been posts where it says it could go violent. To some youth league members, they are called to take up knives, throw bricks and everything. So you never know what's really going to happen with those marches in the end. But the majority of them have been pretty safe and good, but it doesn't seem like they're doing much.
Yeah, I feel like
Zuma's still in power.
I feel if the protests are really peaceful, then actually more attention is paid to it. But if they're actually violent, more attention is paid on how people reacted towards it, and then the point of the protest is not really given much attention. It's what damage people cause.
Which is why I felt so amazed by how the protest lasted, like a few weeks ago. It was peaceful. It was angry, but it was so peaceful. I didn't hear of much violence, except I think there was a little bit in town here, but it was mostly peaceful, and that really was amazing. And also it was so mixed race. There was not a majority of either race, which was fantastic. It was such a good feeling.
See, like that's like something I think we should, as a country, get over. Joe said earlier, like, it was 80, we went to some marches, 80% white, 20% black and coloured. Does that actually pose a question toward is corruption only affecting the white people? Because seeing that the majority of white people are marching, no, that's, scratch that, that's out of the agenda, leave that, that's a thing of the past, literally it is a thing of the past. There shouldn't be a thing of, oh, because there are 80% white people here, it means that they are affected more by corruption. No, it should be a thing of, because there are 100% South Africans here, it means that South Africa is affected by corruption, not white people, black people, colored people,
Exactly.
none of that.
As I look at the future, I see myself as an architect. I'm successful, trying to supply for my family, and then hopefully the government at that time would be stable and have a structure so that it also my future children can benefit of it.
People pay the taxes. Some people pay the taxes, but we have the right because it's our money that's running the country. It's our money that's circulating the flow of cash in the economy, and we have the right to know that. And we are being blocked out by the mainstream media, and that's something that people should take a stand. I think if the mainstream media is changed, if there's a change in the media, there will be a change in the government. There will be a change. That's how it will go. If media can come clean with the things, if it's stupid. The point that the government controls the media is very
incorrect.
It's almost like a dictatorship. It's almost like North Korea. They control the media. They want people to see what they want to see.
The media never questions the government.
Exactly, and that's the worst part of it all. And even if they do question the government, I don't know if you've noticed, you must realize how sly they are about the way they do it. They will ask questions knowing
the
answers and knowing that it won't expose the government too much. It won't go over the boundary.
And like they asking the real question.
Exactly. When it's just window front of it.
It's the way the government runs this country. They're not doing everything to the book. They're taking shortcuts, so which entitles leads to corruption.
The government will say that the complete opposite, whereas the media is against them. But the thing is, with Zuma specifically, the marches that Vanna spoke about earlier, it's like mobilized masses, it's large groups of people. They can't ignore it, they can't, they can't throw a blind eye to it, they can't, it's noticeable, and people will notice if they're going to suppress that issue because they are fighting for a purpose and a cause, and the mainstream media is just shutting it down, and they're not going to tolerate that. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone else should.
What I want to point out is after those marches, there were about 2 days where I saw pictures of the marches, where you saw articles on the marches, and then it was gone.
I didn't even know about it.
Exactly.
That's what I'm like, wow.
Exactly. And that's so sad. It's like, I'm also worried about international media and how believable, like, if we can rely on it. Like, if we see an article on Facebook or we see a link to something on Instagram, is it correct? Are we learning something that's true? And that's what I always wonder, and I'm wondering if local media like newspapers and that sort of thing, if they're doing the same thing, if they're feeding us stuff that actually isn't even true.
That's the thing, you need to look beyond what they're actually telling you, and that's unnecessary. It shouldn't be done, it shouldn't happen.
You shouldn't have to feel like you're being lied to in your own country about something that's so important.
And the things that the evidence are there, it's there, like that cabinet reshuffle that Zuma did recently, it's gone. You don't hear of it anymore. It's just vanished.
It just happened.
It just happened. Day or 2 days, gone.
And in the end, they just pay out the people actually looking out for us, and in the end they corrupt it. And that's the whole thing with the media. Like, we can't control it to the truth. The government controls what gets put out there.
But the other thing is that everybody should remember this, that wars, I'm not saying South Africa has been through a war, but we've been through tough times, the recession in, I think it was 2008, 2009. There's money being made in war. Generally there's money being made in war, with Syria, with the Middle East, there's money being made there. That's why it's continuing, that's why it's lasting. There's no money in poverty. That's why the corporates don't put any of their money in poverty. That's why there's not a variety of upliftment plans, and they say they do it. Yes, there are some, but surely that's not the best bet. Surely that's not what they truly are capable of doing and of helping out. It's just that there's no money in poverty, so why should we fix the issue? You can't get anything out of it.
Exactly, it's selfish motives instead of thinking about someone else.
It all comes down to is that many people in South Africa, South Africans, they are pushing the blame for all their wrongs on our past apartheid regime. And I think that that's extremely wrong, and I think that that's the cause of government corruption, reshuffling of the cabinet, and Zuma not wanting to step down as president because he knows as soon as he steps down he's going to jail and he'll be caught for his corruption. So it's basically just everything relating back to race.
Racism has started to just be an insult that you throw around if you don't feel like you're getting the best opportunity you could be getting, even if it is your fault that you're not getting that opportunity.
And if you say something wrong, it's either you're black racist or you're white racist. So people don't know where they stand. It's not only the youth, it's the elderly generation too.
They teach their children to be racist, and the children don't know any better because they taught it from a young age, and they think that's the right way, which is wrong.
Us as youth, racism wasn't such a big thing, but ever since our country's been like, our economy has been like declining, we have, as youth, have been affected the most. Like at schools, you get videos now posted on Facebook of racism marks, words being said, even in restaurants, out in the public. So I feel like if the government had done things properly, and as a country,
sorry to interrupt you, but you know, people also say like if government done things properly, but how do you solve the problem? If people can actually provide solutions to the continuous problems that they're continuously listing, then it will actually be a difference. But you can't keep on listing problems without giving viable and realistic solutions.
Because then, if we're properly educated, we're the people who have to teach the rest of the generations, including if we have children, including our parents once they start getting old and they're like, you know, they're stuck on their ideas. We need to be the ones who can back it up and say, but that's not right and this is why, and you've experienced it and you have the ability to change now.
That's why I find education very important. Parents always push us for the best. My parents indeed, like being in matric and also just being like a black person amongst white kids, you know, mixed race. It's amazing how since I've been in primary, I've never ever experienced like, oh my gosh, I can't hang out with any white kids or any colors because I'm black. But I've never had that. Everyone is very welcoming. Us as youth, the way we treat each other, you wouldn't say it's the way how the country's reacting to racism. But I think for a better future as us youth, education is the number one.
My dream is to be able to sustain my family and be there for them.
My dream is to make a difference, not with my family, with my friends, with society, but an international difference, worldwide difference.
My dream is to be successful in life and to bring change into people's lives.
I dream of a healthy earth and a place where we don't feel like we're struggling and that everyone is unselfish and that we've learned that we are all the same.
My dream is to live in a time of world peace.
Yeah, Z, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.